Hello, I am live. So I am saying hello. It is 7 o'clock, almost 7 o'clock. I got about another minute. I'm going to share out and let people know that I am live now. And if you'd like to let me know who's here, where you're coming from, let me type live now. Hashtag small bites. Oh, that's tiny. Hashtag. There we go. All right. So I am officially live and going to say some wonderful things about equity. First of all, thank you for coming back to Small Bites. I'm going to get to all of that. I will probably edit most of this out at the beginning, but I'd like to thank you. Okay, let's do that. There. I'd like to thank you for coming back every week. For those of you who come back and listen, thank you for listening and learning and doing the work. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you'll get a notification and make sure you come back every Friday. So last week we talked a little bit about civil discourse and civil disagreement in classrooms. As you know, since November, first there was the election. Then there was the difficulty in ascertaining a winner about the election. Then there were the false reports about who the winner was about the election. Then there was the certification of the election in December. Then there was the inauguration and the Capitol riots. The election certification and the Capitol riots on January 6th. And then there was the possibility, oh my God, we've got to have lots and lots of police presence because something might happen for the inauguration. So we have been in kind of a state of trauma since the election, November 4th. And that is difficult because that means that if your kids live in a household where there's a lot of the news is going all the time, or their podcasts going all the time, then they are subject to this kind of trauma. They're hearing it over and over again, and things become polarized. Your kids may vehemently agree with you. Oh my God, they stole the election and now they may vehemently disagree with you. Oh my God, they stole the election and now look, it means that we have things living in our classroom that are political. What's not political is respect. It's not political. Civics, citizenship, the tenets of citizenship, empathy, respect, taking care of one another, being a part of a community and learning how to respectfully agree and disagree. Those are things that are not political. And I'm hearing a lot of teachers wondering, how can I talk about these things with my students? How can I talk about these things with my parents? Hi, Keisha. Hello. I'm so glad she's here. This is actually in all of my records. This is titled the Keisha episode. She's an instructional coach in Hawaii. I think I got the job title right. I know that she's a leader of teachers, and she works with teachers who are struggling with these concepts, and so do I. Everything I've done in the last 2 months, teachers have asked me, what should I do? How can I broach this with my kids? How can I do this and not lose my job? How can I do this and not get pushback from my admin? I've got several really good podcasts here on YouTube, vlog. Well, the vlog of what do you call this? A YouTube series. I've got this, and I've also got podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, all of those places where the last couple of months I really talk about that, because what we're doing is we're abdicating a really important throne of responsibility, and that is to teach civic responsibility. That's not political. It's not political to say, hey, I know that you're angry. A lot of people are angry. And I know that maybe you see things on TV. You might see newscasters or politicians or even your favorite singers saying mean things about people they don't agree with. That's not responsible. That's inappropriate. That's not what we do. That's not what we want to do. So it is okay for you to teach behavior. And mostly, I really want you to teach that just because someone you love says something mean doesn't mean it's okay. Just because someone you respect rips somebody a new one doesn't mean that that's okay. And I know it's kind of popular to pop off and talk trash talking and all that stuff is popular, but those things are not okay in a public arena or on social media. It's not okay to make someone else feel bad, whether or not you like them, whether or not you love them, whether or not you disagree with them. It's not okay to make someone feel bad. So let's say that empathy and respect it should be the basis for every interaction. So when you're angry, how do you behave? Watch a Sesame Street video with your high schoolers and talk about feelings? It's okay to be angry. It's okay to disagree. It's not okay to call somebody stupid or, oh my God, how can they believe that? That's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. That's a judgment statement. So you want to teach your kids to be respectful and non-judgmental, and that is never political. Now, if you yourself are kind of in your feelings about what's happening, let's say this week it's the impeachment trial. If you're in your feelings, you might have a little bit of a difficulty doing that. So you have to get to a spot where you realize if you have been unkind, or if you're in social media being unkind, or even with your friends over a glass of wine being unkind, saying unkind things about people you don't agree with politically, then you're going to have a harder time being non-political and just teaching civics. So you want to look at, there's some really great things I just did in my cohort, a quizzes about bias in news media. Look at bias in news media and talk about how to be, thank you very much. Teachers on Fire popped in. Teachers, there's a difference between being political and partisanship. All right, so you want to advocate for unification. You want to advocate for respectful discourse. You want to advocate for media literacy. And you want to teach your kids about all of those things. And you can use what's going on in politics, not even in politics, what's going on in our nation, because they should be able to look at what happens in our community and see, oh yeah, I saw that happen, but that wasn't okay. Or, oh, that was a good thing. When Greta Thunberg comes out and talks about about what happens about climate action, we can support that. It's not political, it's climate action. Climate is not political. So we want to make sure that we are teaching solid respect, solid empathy, solid respectful discourse, respectful disagreement with our students. And I pulled up some resources. I will go, this is not a real live, so I won't be on long. So let me go ahead and get to your 5 resources on laying a foundation of civil discourse. If you got 20 to 30 minutes, I would like you to go to hedrick.com, and all of that stuff is already there. If you'd like to follow along, I've already published them. Explore the resources for teaching media literacy with nonpartisan Civics Renewal Network resources. See there, Teachers on Fire? I got you. Civics Renewal Network. Choose one to use already on Monday to connect to your ELA and social standards and every single content, because every content has critical thinking and media literacy standards. Every single content, media literacy, no, not media literacy, sorry. They all have civics standards though. There's always a communication standard. So civics belongs to every content, to every grade level. If you have 15 to 20 minutes, research the critical thinking standards for your content in your state. Teaching civic responsibility, citizenship, and communication and critical thinking are connected to every content. Gosh, I'm so good. See, I didn't even have to say that. It was already written down. All right, if you've got 10 to 15 minutes, use this resource from Discovering Justice to help you teach principles of community and fairness to your K-5 students. If you have 5 to 10 minutes, if you have littles or even older kids with a sense of humor, because believe it or not, when I pull out my sibling pig and I use my voice like this, kind of like my elbow voice, my 7th graders love it. So if you have 5 to 10 minutes, so you have littles or kids with older kids with a sense of humor, use Sesame Street videos like the ones like the ones on hedrick.com to ease into topics like conflict, feelings, or social responsibility. Talk in general about what types of behaviors are not okay and how those behaviors are wrong, even if someone we respect is doing them. Finally, if you've got 0 to 5 minutes, use 67 civics for yourself or with your upper grade level students. There's a quiz and a 60-second podcast. That's absolutely amazing. All right, I thank you for joining me. This has been a crazy week, so I thought I would pop on live and make sure I got part 2 exactly down like I wanted to. Again, please check out those content standards. Every grade level has civic standards. So when your teachers, when other teachers, when admin, when parents come, if you really have a heart for this, you can say, these are the standards we're talking. These are the standards we're using. These are the standards that are a part of this lesson. This is why I brought this in, because we want to grow up our next generation to not do some of the things we've seen recently. And if you have a Parkland shooter 20 years from now, if you have, and this sounds hard, guys, but if you have rioters 20 years from now, and you didn't teach that those things were wrong, then it's on us. It's happening on our watch. So make sure that we take our responsibility to teach civics, to teach our next generation to be responsible citizens. All right, this has been Small Bites. Like, subscribe. See you next Friday. How do you eat an elephant? One small bite at a time. See you next week. Thank you. You're welcome. Bye, Jeff. Bye, Teacher Sophia. Bye, Keisha. Bye.